Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Headbangers Closet. So for this video, I thought it'd be kind of a fun idea to jump on a kind of a thread that's going on in the VC right now, where you spell your favorite sport with some of your favorite records. I was inspired to do this video by Mark over at Twanger's Turntable. I watched his video over the weekend, and he did hockey, which I would have loved to have done because I had some really cool records in mind. I'm a diehard NHL fan. I pretty much watch at least one game a night during the season. I'm a lifelong Detroit Red Wings fan, never miss a game. Grew up playing hockey in Massachusetts and played all through, all growing up. Played in college, and I moved down south to Georgia and joined a league and started playing. And it's now basically an over 30 league with the guys in their 40s, 50s, and 60s all sprinkled in. So it's a great time. But I also love college football. Those are my two favorite sports, hockey and college football. I'm a season ticket holder to the Georgia Bulldogs, and love college football. Watch it religiously on Saturdays if Georgia's away. If Georgia's home, I'm usually at the game, tailgating, drinking beer, and then watching the game. So in addition to being a huge heavy metal fan, I'm also a diehard hockey and college football fan. So going to do football today. Going to spell football with some of my favorite records. And by the way, Mark has inspired me to do a lot of cool videos. I don't really do the trends too much, or what do you call them, the threads that the VC does. But Mark inspires me to do a lot of videos. I try to do them when I think I have something to contribute. So if you haven't subbed up to Mark's channel, Twanger's Turntable, do so now. Such a cool guy. Despite having this massive badass collection of not just heavy metal records, but all these other great records as well, he's an awesome storyteller. Love hearing the stories about, how he got into bands and whatever record or band he's talking about. He always has great stories to tell, and he's an excellent storyteller. So for that reason, if none other, go sub him up. He's such a cool guy. So let's get right to it. We're going to start with F, and it's 1989's release, The Real Thing by Faith No More. Absolutely phenomenal record. This was kind of my coming onto the band. I guess, getting online with the band, as they say. It was through MTV. They had some big hits on MTV, and I got the album on cassette. Just absolutely loved the whole record. In fact, those songs that they had videos for are some of my least favorite songs on the album. Everything on this record is that great. They do this cover of War Pigs. That's easily one of the best covers of that song I've ever heard. Such a great record. A lot of controversial opinions when people are like, oh, the Angel Dust is the best one, but I think this one's the best one, and it's probably because sentimental reasons is where I came on with the band. So anyway, F, Faith No More is a Real Thing. Excellent record. And kind of wanted to show some records that I might not have shown before. Maybe kind of highlight some bands I think maybe more people need to listen to. And the first O in football is one of those. This is Oxygen Destroyer. These guys are, I can't remember whether it's Seattle or Portland, but somewhere up there in the Pacific Northwest. But check out this album cover artwork. Pretty badass looking Godzilla creatures like kaijus and stuff like that. But if you're unfamiliar with Oxygen Destroyer, they are a really cool death metal band. If you like hard, heavy, and fast death metal, you're going to dig these guys. This is, I believe, on colored vinyl. Yeah, orange, kind of marble-looking swirl here with the killer label over there with more of the creatures, but really cool stuff. I'm not the world's biggest death metal fan. I love death metal, love a lot of death metal bands, but a lot of them are hit and miss with me. There's so many of them that have come out the last handful of years. Old school, new school, technical, brutal, whatever. I only like maybe a small percentage of them, and these guys are one of those bands, newer bands I really like. Sound really, really cool, and they just released a new album recently too, which I do not have yet. For the second O in football, we're going to go with Overkill's I Hear Black. One of my favorite Overkill records. I kind of think it's an underrated album. This is one of the recent reissues. They're reissuing a lot of the Overkill records lately. But just like the album cover colors, you got the orange vinyl right here, just like that right there. So anyway, great record. Like I said, very underrated Overkill album. I really like a lot of the late 90s or 90s through early 2000s Overkill. I think they really kept their traditional thrash sound when a lot of bands kind of were going away from it. Basically the big four kind of all went away from thrash there in the in the 90s and early 2000s, and these guys were still doing it. And some of those 90s and early 2000s records are some of the best Overkill's put out, in my opinion. So let's get right to it. The T in football is an album I talked about recently in a recent video, but I want to show it again because I think these guys are absolutely amazing. It's Tail Gunner. The album is Guns for Hire. This thing just came out this past summer. Really, really great record. Young guys from the UK doing traditional heavy metal and doing it right. These guys are awesome. If you just think of what maybe a Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Grim Reaper, bands like that, if they came out today, what they might kind of sound like, and Tail Gunner's it. So give it a listen if you hadn't done so already. Really, really great band. And for the B for football, I've got Bewitcher's latest record, Cursed by Thy Kingdom. This thing is a couple of years old now. Let's see if it's on colored vinyl. It is. Pretty cool red. The hell's the opening? Jeez, I had this thing in there backwards. Anyway, Bewitcher's another one of those Pacific Northwest bands. Don't remember if it's I think it's Portland. I think I remember these guys from Portland. But here's the red and black kind of swirl marble right there. Pretty cool. But yeah, Bewitcher's Cursed by the Kingdom. Kind of a younger band. They've only got maybe like 3 or 4 records. Speed metal, thrash metal with a really cool punk influence. Really cool sounding. Give it a listen, Bewitcher, and you'll kind of know what I'm talking about. You know, if you like speed metal, just fast, great metal, you're really going to like these guys. And they've got a really cool kind of punk element to them as well. A lot of witchcraft and imagery and stuff like that in the lyrics. It's really, really cool stuff. So for the A in football, could have went a lot of different ways here. Obviously, Anthrax are my all-time favorite bands, but I kind of wanted to go a different route. I haven't really shown much Amon Amarth on my channel, and I'm a huge Amon Amarth fan. I've seen them a bunch of times. I've got everything they've put out. This is one of those Metal Blade record reissues as well. Kind of like that blood red vinyl right there. They call it ruby red vinyl, but come on, it's Amon Amarth, the Vikings. I'm calling it blood red. Really like all their stuff. I kind of thought they hit their stride with Twilight of the Thunder God, Sweet Sutra Rising, albums like that. Kind of really thought they hit their stride. But this one's my favorite one, and for a lot of reasons. Not only the riffs, just absolutely crushing that melodic death metal, which I think when it comes to melodic death metal, I really feel that some of the albums that came just before it are a little bit better, but this thing just like it can't be beat, really. Great melodic death metal. The guitar riffs, like I said, are absolutely amazing. And what sets this one apart, in my opinion, as my favorite Amon Amarth album, Jom's Vikings, is the storytelling. All the songs tell a story, much like pretty much everything Amon Amarth does, but it just kind of, for me, takes it to a little bit more just kind of higher level, especially the fact that they're the Vikings and the album's Jom's Vikings. Just such a great album. Love everything about it. And for the L's, again, wanted to show some stuff that I haven't really done before. I kind of wanted to shed some light on some albums and bands. I've got the early 80s heavy metal band Leather Nun. The album is called Take the Night. This is on red vinyl. This is a reissue here. Not really sure what the label was. I can't really see it, and don't want to take it out because it's kind of, you might as well. Here it is right there. Pretty cool. But this is really, really cool early 80s heavy metal band. I mean, these guys were kind of doing heavy metal before there were too many subgenres. Like thrash was a thing. This thing came out in 86, I believe. Thrash was a thing, but it hadn't really taken hold just yet. So it wasn't hair bands. This is just kind of straight up traditional early 80s heavy metal, if you like, the early Judas Priest, like, British Steel kind of sound, and you'll dig these guys. Really, really cool band, Leather Nun. And then last but not least, the second L in football is Liege Lord's Master Control. This is another Metal Blade reissue right here. Kind of red and blue ruby. You can see it right there. It's pretty sharp looking. Absolutely love this record. These guys, to me, embody a lot of different subgenres in heavy metal. To me, it's thrash, speed metal, and traditional heavy metal as well. Just really, really cool stuff from these guys. I bought both of the Metal Blade reissues when it came out, I think, last year. And this was my favorite of the two. But absolutely great record, great band. Check them out if you haven't done so already, Liege Lord. They're an early 80s band, but they just sound really good. If you put them on the turntable, you put them on your CD player, you pop them up on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and you just pretend you don't know they're from the 80s. You kind of could see how they might sound like they just came out recently. So there you have it, guys. That is football spelled out in some of my favorite records. What do you think about, if do you have these records? What do you like them or not? Whatever you want to talk about, leave me a comment below. Want to talk about the back-to-back national championship, Georgia Bulldogs? Leave me a comment down below. Talk hockey, college football. I'm always down for that. Love that stuff. Pretty much that's basically what I do with my time: hockey, college football, and metal. So anyway, leave me a comment below if you don't mind. Love talking to you guys, and I appreciate everybody checking out the channel. I will have another video for you guys very soon. Cheers, everybody. Have a good week.